Hi, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Crushing Land. And today we're going to talk about something that is lacking by so many different investors. In fact, it's lacking in so many different people in business, entrepreneurs, and it's a huge reason why many don't succeed. And that is having the right drive, having the right passion, having the right motivation. And I'm going to break this down by means of a comparison that I think most people are going to appreciate. And that is something that a lot of people really like. For example, think about your favorite sports team, for example, and how much you're involved with them. I'm kind of amazed at it. I've looked at like posts and things like that, and people will spend hours and hours and hours and hours of their day and their week following their sports teams, commenting on their social media threads, all of these different things. And that's where they're spending all of their time. That's where they're spending all their effort. And not only are they doing that, they get heated about it. It's hilarious to look at some of these posts because people are arguing with each other and it goes on for days and days. There's still people arguing about the Super Bowl from last year. And that's been over since February. And here we are now in September, and the new football season started, and people are still arguing about it. They're so passionate about it. But the thing is, the problem is the passion is misplaced, right? When people are looking at these sort of things, they spend all this time, they spend all this effort doing this, but then they don't do it in other areas of their lives. If you think about, I'm a Patriots fan, and we had a great run, right? And I got to see them win a bunch. I may never see them win another Super Bowl again, looking at, football seasons. When it comes to baseball, I'm an even bigger baseball fan. I'm a Baltimore Orioles, I'm a Cincinnati Reds fan. And in my lifetime, other than being a little kid, I've never had them win it all. In fact, I don't remember ever seeing them win it all, right? Do those things have a bearing in my life? Not really, right? Yes, you get enjoyment out of it, but it's just entertainment. That's all. You don't really get anything more out of it beside that. Whether or not the Patriots go on and win another Super Bowl or not, whether or not they're ever relevant again, does that make any difference in my life? Really? No, of course not, right? Whether or not I get to see my favorite baseball team ever win the World Series, does it matter? No, it has no bearing on anything important, but people get so passionate. They get so driven by it. They spend all this time there like it's the end of the world. The same thing happens with entertainment. People have like their favorite singers, their favorite performers, things like that. And they get in there and they get into these big debates and they defend them to the end degree as to why they're the best. And then there's these feuds. And then not only that, they spend all this time following everything that they do. They follow their lifestyle. They follow their trends. They follow, they watch everything that's about them and all of their groups and everything on social media, everywhere else, and spend all of this time doing it. Yes, you get enjoyment out of listening to those people, but if that person never puts out another album, right? If you never get to see them in concert, if nothing ever happens again, if they were to just stop today and you never heard one of their songs again, would it affect your life? No, right? It would have no bearing on it. And people spend all of this time engrossed in these things that really have no benefit to them. They sit there and they waste all of this time and all of this effort, spending time focusing on these people and defending them and arguing about them and going on and on and on and on about it. And so much passion about it, so much drive behind it. And really the results are nothing, right? My life is not going to be better or worse if the Patriots win another Super Bowl. It's not going to be better or worse if I get to see the Orioles or the Reds win a World Series. It's not going to be better or worse if my favorite artist puts out another album or says, you know what, I'm done recording music forever. And in reality, if I never got to hear their song again, well, it may disappoint me because I like it. It would not affect my life for the better or for the worse. Focus on where your passion and your drive is. Put it into something meaningful. Put it into something that actually matters in your life. If people just had a percentage of the passion and the drive that they do for these entertainment things, for these non-important things, if they had just a percentage of that, just a tiny fraction of it, and used it in their businesses and had that same drive motivation behind them, there would be a lot more successful people and millionaires in this world, but people don't do it. You need to actually have that drive, have that motivation in your business. And the funny thing about it is that that's kind of like, when you look at it, and it's irony in this whole thing is that when you do these things, when you focus on putting your drive and your passion in the right spot, guess what that actually does? It gives you more money. It gives you more time. It gives you more ability. So what does that mean you can do? That means if you really like that sports team, if you really like that singer, whatever it may be that you're engrossed in, you actually now have the ability, instead of sitting there saying, man, I'm going to defend them on social media left and right, and I'm going to be part of it. You can sit there and be like, no, I'm actually going to go get like front row seats to their concert because I have the ability to do it. Or I'm going to travel and go see my favorite sports team play here, and I'm going to sit on the 50-yard line, and I'm going to have great seats, and I'm going to do all this because you have the ability to do it. Or, my favorite team's playing in the Super Bowl. I'm actually going to go to the game if you so desire. All of these different things. So it's kind of funny. People put all this passion and motivation in at the very beginning, but if they just had directed it in the right place, their life in general be more successful. And then those things that bring them entertainment, things that bring them joy that they like, well, they'd actually have the more ability to actually spend time doing those things and have better experiences with those as well. So I'm just using those as examples. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with being entertained. That's why it's there, but keep it in its right place, right? Well, you enjoy it and it's fun and all that. That's not where your passion, that's not where your drive, that's not where your motivation should be. It should be on something that actually matters. And like I said, it's kind of ironic the way that it works out, where if you actually do that, if you spend the time, if you put it in the places that it actually matters, well, guess what? You're going to have more time, you're going to have more money, you're going to have more freedom to be able to actually spend it in those other things as well. But I see it so many times. And one of the ways that you can see it a lot is just through Facebook. People are, and other social media, they follow every last person. They follow sports teams, they follow, and they're in there and they're so active and they're doing all these things. And I know they're active land investors, and yet they're hardly doing anything. They're not putting that drive, that effort in there. Focus on what matters, focus on the right things, and then you're going to see results in your business. And then, of course, it's also going to turn into better experiences in your life as well. So thanks a lot for joining us today on Crushing Land. We look forward to seeing you next week. Next week is actually the interview of me, where I'm going to break down my own life and everything that I've done and all the different things that's going on. And you can come and ask me questions. So remember, it's live. It's going to be here in the Facebook group. It's going to be on YouTube. So if you're listening to it, you'll be able to listen to it afterwards. But if you're there live, you'll be able to ask questions as well as the questions that's going to be out there. And I'm just going to really open up and tell you everything about me and growing up and why I got into real estate and different advice and different thoughts and all of these different things. So please make sure to join us at noon Eastern time next Wednesday for that. So again, everybody, thanks for joining us on this episode of Crushing Land, and we'll see you next week.